Welcome, Hoops fans, to the NBA playoffs. The first matchup has been decided between the Mavericks and the Clippers, and it's sure to be a tantalizing one. We got one of the best players in the NBA right now in Luka Dončić versus two of the best two-way wings in the league in Kawhi Leonard, hopefully, and Paul George. In today's film review, we're going to break down everything you need to know about this tantalizing matchup and preview what I think is going to happen. Stay till the end to get my prediction. In this first clip right here, you're going to see Luka Dončić driving up the field and one of the new Mavericks members in Daniel Gafford setting a screen onto Brandon Miller. Now, Daniel Gafford has been a key addition to the Mavericks team. He's been incredible on this team, one might say. He's taken the spot of Dereck Lively, and he's really able to have that bounce and that girth that Dereck Lively doesn't have. And he's really been incredible with Luka Dončić, specifically in the pick and roll. And that's what they're about to do in this specific clip. In fact, he's so effective that he fakes it right here. He was just about to look like he's setting a screen on Brandon Miller, but instead, Grant Williams is forced to double onto Luka Dončić so that Brandon Miller and Grant Williams are on Luka Dončić, and Gafford gets a wide open view at the lane. Now, we still have Kyrie Irving, though. He's one of the best players in the league, and so it seems like the Hornets players are deciding, do I close out to the three-point shooters here because Gafford is going to pass, or is he just going to drive to the rim? Seems like nobody wanted any smoke from Daniel Gafford, so he just takes it up and dunks the ball right there. And that's the gravity of somebody like Luka Dončić. When you fake a screen for him, oftentimes they seem to want to double, but faking the screen allows for Daniel Gafford to get running downhill with a head of steam in a way like Steph Curry does whenever Draymond Green kind of sets the fake screen. But in this case, it works even better. In this next clip right here, we have Luka Dončić once again dribbling the ball up versus Brandon Miller. It's clear right here that Grant Williams is looking Luka Dončić straight in the eye and trying to gauge what he's going to have to do with Gafford. He knows Gafford is likely going to set a pick and roll right here or something of that fact because, that's what he loves to do. So right here, it seems like Brandon Miller's plan is try to shade him away from the screen. He gets between Gafford and Luka to make sure that the screen can't actually happen and try to shade him towards the help, which is going to come from here, from the Hornets. Now, he does this pretty well, but Luka does a nice job of getting a little bit in front. And Luka does this really good, awesome thing of essentially always being in control. He has control this whole time. He's not going too fast or too slow. And you think right here, he stops the ball. This looks like a really tough position. You have Grant Williams, you have Brandon Miller. Gafford isn't really open because you have basically four guys from the Hornets in the paint and one guy guarding the strong side shooter in Kyrie Irving. And so it looks like a dead possession right here. But actually, somehow, Luka Dončić uses his magical passing abilities to lob it over to Gafford. And now Gafford has a clear height advantage on Micic and Bridges, and he finishes the play over them. And that's the ability of Daniel Gafford and the dimension he's really added to this team. In this next clip right here, we're going to see something that NBA fans probably haven't seen since maybe the 2016 finals, maybe 2017 or 2018, and that's Kyrie Irving and the Dallas Mavericks on defense. Right here, Micic gives it to Miles Bridges, and Kyrie Irving is looking like he's taking defense seriously finally. This is probably one of the biggest problems in the Clippers matchup versus the Mavericks. For the Mavericks is going to be the defensive end. And right here, it looks like it's clear that the Mavericks are locked in, and specifically one of their best players in Kyrie Irving. He faces up Bridges, and as Bridges goes for the shot, he's able to kind of hit it out of his hand, and that's an amazing defensive play from Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving's long been kind of one of the underrated defenders. He's not that great right now if you look at his defensive rating or if you look at his defensive win shares, but he's long been heralded in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 on the Cavs as an underrated defender, and I would definitely agree with that. And if he can show up in the playoffs as a defender, clearly, as we saw in the last two clips, this team has no problem generating offense on the offensive end. It's really the defensive end where they struggle. Now, right here, what you're going to see is Luka Dončić with his nice lobbing passes and Maxi Kleber, who is a very key component of what they like to do, playing the 5 role. I think this is going to be super important for them as they play because of the gravity that Maxi Kleber has as both a three-point shooter and as somebody who's a facilitator in the paint. And this is a great pass from Kleber right out to the wing, and it allows for a drive from the Mavericks, from Derrick Jones Jr., and Luka Dončić is able to get the ball back. And you see the gravity that he has. Bertans is just screaming over here to kind of close out to Luka Dončić because of the gravity he has. He's almost Steph-like in that way. He splits between the two defenders and is able to get a nice pass right here to Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, what a dime. Right in the shooting pocket. And that's what Luka Dončić is able to do. And something the Clippers are definitely going to have to worry about. And Tim Hardaway Jr. is able to make that three from an amazing pass from Luka Dončić. Alright, in this next clip right here, we're going to review some of the Clippers X Factors. We all know Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, they're the staples. But the new additions, James Harden, Ivica Zubac, and Russell Westbrook, I feel like are really going to determine the series. Right here, we have Ivica Zubac at the top of the key, doing essentially what looks like a dribble handoff with James Harden, with Terrence Mann also setting a screen onto James Harden's man. Essentially a complicated screen play. It looks like this dribble handoff, James Harden's able to get the ball, and he has space away from his defender and Talen Horton-Tucker. But we also have Ivica Zubac with just a small little increment of space open, and James Harden is able to lob that ball to Ivica Zubac, and he's able to finish that pass. And this is important. This year, the Clippers finally have a real point guard. They had it last year in Russell Westbrook, but arguably James Harden is one of the best passers in the NBA, and he still showcases his passing chops when he really decides to play. And in this specific play, and throughout this season, he's been really good at facilitating the ball to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and really running the offense. After Russell Westbrook went to the bench, it's clear that this team that went on a streak of like 15 wins, essentially with very few losses, that they were going on a mission to show that James Harden is a great passer, and he's been facilitating really well. And you see that his connection with Zubac really is there, which is going to be key, especially since the Dallas Mavericks have Gafford to worry about. Alright guys, in this next clip right here, we have James Harden doing his patented James Harden stuff. But it's really tough for opponents to really key in on him because of the fact that they not only play him, but they play one of the best two-way wings in Paul George. And in this specific game, Kawhi Leonard isn't even playing, and you see how much space he has to operate at the top of the key. Back in 2018, 2019, he would never get this amount of space. Somebody would probably always be close to kind of block off the driving lanes and make sure that he isn't able to kind of get a free shot here or a free shot here or be able to drive and kind of draw a foul. But it's clear times have changed, and James Harden isn't nearly the threat he used to be to the opponents. Or so it seems. Right here, he gets a quick step onto his defender and is easily able to get into the driving lane and get a layup right here. He honestly probably should have gotten that foul there too. But it just shows you, James Harden still has the explosive burst that people have wanted him to display and has really unlocked his game. And that's really going to be key in the playoffs. Another X factor right here is going to be Russell Westbrook. The energy he has. You see everyone lagging behind kind of in this play on the Clippers side. James Harden's kind of walking up the floor. Ivica Zubac kind of walking up the floor too. It seems like they're not really ready to start this play. And even the defenders, THT right here, he seems like, I'm not really interested in playing right now. You know, and you see the guy close to the rim also not really interested in playing right now. But as we play this clip a little more, you see Russell Westbrook always on high gear, splits two defenders, goes up and under, and ends up finishing the basket. And this is going to be key for the Clippers. His X factor that he provides off the bench, Norman Powell as well, is going to be key for the Clippers if they're going to keep a game together. I think their defense from Paul George and Kawhi Leonard is going to be their strategy for the most part. But Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Ivica Zubac are going to be key, whether they're coming off the bench or in the starting lineup. Now right here, what we see is a play kind of for Paul George. And I think this might be the difference maker for the LA Clippers is they have all of those X factors, but they also have a guy who's just a certified bucket getter. And that's Paul George right now. And look at this awesome shot. He's just able to kind of get between two defenders, get past Talen Horton-Tucker, and easily kind of finish in the paint. And I think that's going to be key for the Los Angeles Lakers. If I had to give you guys predictions right now, I'm predicting the Clippers in 7. I think this is a super close series, but I think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard wear down the Mavericks, wear down Luka Dončić, wear down Kyrie Irving. And honestly, maybe they're the worst matchup for the Mavericks just because of the ability of them to defend the wing when they really want to. But I think if Kawhi Leonard doesn't play, it's definitely going to be the Mavericks games, and I think they'll probably win it in 5 or 6. Don't count out the X factors. I want you guys to really watch for Russell Westbrook and James Harden on the Clippers side, and I think they'll really be the deciders of this matchup. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and hopefully you like the content. Comment below who you think is going to win the series. Thank you.